Yes, guys, welcome to the last video of the first section of the fundamental part of the course. So this one, you guys probably haven't really used these words much, but it's quite simple. Exogenous and endogenous differentials. What it means is exogenous is when you look at the data and all the analysis in terms of comparing one economy to the next, and then endogenous is inside that economy. And the problem with what lots of people do with fundamentals is they just look at endogenous factors. So they just look at what's happening inside one economy. And then based on that, they go, okay, I must be buying this all the time. I must be buying this all the time. Or I must be selling, for example, if they've got that conviction. But what you've actually got to do is compare them. And that's where we look at differentials between the types of economies. So exogenous is external fundamentals in comparison to other currencies. Endogenous is internals, so fundamentals domestically. Now, moving forward in this course, what we've got to understand is that any fundamental analysis that we do should always be compared to other currencies. In doing so, we can compare which currencies and markets are performing better and which are doing worse. In finding this differential, you should pair a currency pairing in a way where you have a clear bias. This way, you can be sure that you have a strong directional bias and that you can swing trade in that bias for a long time. So, what's a smart way to go about this? Usually, you would, or the way I would approach it and the way I would like to teach my students is always try go for currency pairs where one of them, has a strong bias and the other one has a weak bias. So what that means is, let's just say, for example, it's CAD JPY. You know that CAD right now is improving because of whatever analysis you have. And then you know that JPY is weakening because of whatever analysis you have. If you combine them, that means strong CAD buys, weak JPY sells. That means CAD JPY is going to be a very strong buy. And that's exactly what we've got to look at. Um, as we move further into the course, you're going to look at some more data, understanding what the news actually means when it comes out, what exactly we should look at. But in terms of comparing, 100%, whenever you see data releases, you must compare what's going on, but also understand which economy is the dominant one in a way. Usually in a pair, you would see it's USD. So, for example, the US dollar index, DXY, would have more prominence over the BXY, which is the pound. So, GBP USD, of course, you're going to have to analyze and see which one is stronger. But uh, that's one example of comparing them. But in terms of data, um, you can go back to trading economics, as we explained in some of the lessons prior to this. You need to actually compare what the GDPs are of each country, what the inflation rate is of each country, what are the exports like, what are the monetary policies like, who has more bond purchases, who has more debt. All these factors that we're going to look into more. That's exactly what you need to look at. And then that's when you have a perfect fundamental backing in a way. And then you can just proceed on to finding a technical analysis and just getting into the trade. But anyways, guys, I hope this first section made sense. Really and truly, it's just the introduction to everything that we're doing. This is just the core concepts that you need to understand. What's GDP, what's interest rates, what's inflation, how do we measure it, everything like that. And then, of course, we're going to get into more detail. And the detail that we'll be getting into is we'll be at a point where you understand what's going on in the news events that's happening. Anyways, guys, take care, and I hope you enjoyed this lesson. All right, see you.